Hi everyone, Leigh here with Sinkers and the math content team. Today we're going to look at an SAT problem that's talking about parallel lines cut by a transversal and what happens to the angle measured. The problem here says in the figure, line M is parallel to N. Here's M, here's N. There's a transversal that they don't describe, so you're just supposed to notice there's a transversal that cuts these two parallel lines, and they want to know the value of W. W is an angle formed. So I think the best place to start is to remember the rules of angles formed when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So here is a general image of two parallel lines cut by a transversal line. When this happens, if you compare any two angles that are formed, there's only two possibilities for what the relationship between those two angles are. It's either that these angles are congruent to each other, meaning they are equal in measure, or these two angles are supplementary, meaning when you add them together, they equal or sum to 180 degrees. A trick that I like to share with my students is in these situations, just visually identify the angles as a big angle or a small angle. It's going to be the easiest way to just figure out what you're working with here. So for example, here's a big angle, here's another angle. I'm contrasting that to small angle, small angle. Here's another small angle and small angle. Here's another big angle, big angle. All the big angles are congruent to each other. All the small angles are congruent to each other. And if you pair any big and small angle together, they sum to 180. So we're going to apply that rule to this specific problem. I'm noticing 170 here is a big angle. If I want to go around and mark every other big angle on this diagram, that's going to indicate to us W is a big angle, so W must be congruent to the 170. And you have your final answer at D. Like and follow for more, or post in the comments if you want something more specific.